Chuck, let's talk about operating a tech business in a time of pandemic. Obviously, people are looking to companies like Cisco and some of your competitors to reach out to their colleagues, to their families, to others like they've never had to do before. It's been an incredibly unusual year. Now, I know in terms of WebEx users, I think you had 500 million WebEx users for the month of April, but then you also had upstarts like Zoom that saw a lot more activity, a lot more name recognition than they'd had seen in the past as well. I had seen one report that showed that you guys are still far and away the leaders when it comes to video conferencing, but they showed Zoom making some big inroads, I think up from 13% in the first quarter a year ago to about 28% in the first quarter this year. What do you think of those other companies, and what do you think of Cisco's ability to stay on top in this arena?
Well, we have, in January, we were the largest platform in the world, and by the time we hit April, that platform had tripled in volume, and our teams did an amazing job of actually, supporting that capacity. And look, we have a very robust, portfolio of solutions in this space that were built with privacy, built with security in mind, built for our corporate customers to run their board meetings, to have intellectual property discussions, and those are the things that our customers are continuing to use this technology for. This is no longer about casual conversations over video and casual meetings. This is about our customers are discussing their valuable intellectual property on these platforms, and we have to ensure we have privacy, security, and those are the things that we focus on, and that's why our customers continue to lean on this technology. And when you build all that in, it is a little more robust and a little more complicated to deploy. And for the consumers, I think a simple solution is good. For our high-end enterprise customers, they still lean on WebEx to provide them the privacy and the security that they need.
Hey, Chuck, we've talked to a lot of companies, and some of them have been pretty upfront about how they're going to have to cut their budgets because they've seen their own revenue drop pretty significantly. One of the first places that you see budget cuts come is on things like marketing and advertising. But I would imagine that corporations may be more willing to spend when it comes to technology infrastructure, particularly when they are trying to make sure that they are keeping things safe, that they are allowing their employees, if possible, to work from home. So what have you seen from companies in terms of being willing to spend money on technology, even at a time when corporate budgets have to come down?
Well, I think that all of our customers had a splurge of spending to get through this transition to work from home. So they beefed up their security. They obviously took advantage of these platforms like WebEx. And I think that there's not one answer for customers today. Different industries are impacted in different ways. So you see industries like airlines and hospitality that are struggling. You see the pharmaceuticals and financials doing okay. And so every industry is in a bit of a different spot. But what I'd say generally right now is that there's still too much uncertainty in the system for our customers. And so there's a lot of customers who are still thinking through, trying to figure out what is it we can do? What was our business going to look like 90 days from now? What's it going to look like 6 months from now? Because every time we get some good news, we get this reemergence and this explosion in cases right now that has people wondering what's really going to happen over the next 6 months. So I think there's still just too much uncertainty in the system, and I think we've got to get some of these issues resolved, and we have to make more progress on this economic reopening in a way that is safe, that people feel good about, and then I think we'll have more clarity. Until then, I just don't think we will.
Chuck, does this break down geographically at all? Are there companies maybe in Asia that feel like they've come through further on this? Or is this a global problem where people look around and say we are only as safe as the latest place that's seen an outbreak?
Well, I was on the phone this week with a couple of customers in Asia, and I think they're cautiously optimistic. So obviously, they went into this pandemic earlier, and they're beginning to come out of it. I think it's still early to see how it's going to happen. You see places like Singapore that started to come back, and then have seen a little bit of some hot spots in their country, but I think they're dealing with it well. So I think it's a little early yet, but our expectation would be that we would see it ramp in the same order that we went into it. So you'd see Asia come back, then Europe, and then the U.S. ultimately. But again, I still think it's early, and we have to see how this thing plays out.
You're headquartered in California, and we've seen the moves that Governor Newsom there has made recently about rolling back some of the reopenings, requiring people to wear face masks. What's it like operating a business there, and what are you doing with your employees in California?
Well, first of all, I think that the state has done a really good job. It was one of the first states to close down and make sure that we were trying to stay safe. Santa Clara County's even been more aggressive. With our employees, the great news is that we have an affinity to work from home. I mean, we build this technology, so this is a natural motion for us. We're not really used to doing it this long, but it's a very natural motion for us. So we're just taking it day by day. Our essential employees are in the offices where they need to be, working in labs, building hardware, doing the things that we need to do for our customers. Our supply chain teams are working very hard and have done just an incredible job. But for those people who don't need to be in the office, we're going to take this slowly and obviously make sure that safety's first for them, and we'll just see how the next couple of months go.